The film opens in a quiet little town as several influencers arrive together. A police officer from the area stops them, eyeing them with suspicion and giving a stern warning. He believes they're bound to stir up problems and clearly states that if anything happens, they'll face harsh consequences. They nod in agreement, and once he drives away, a strange tension hangs in the air. The group is led by Mia, a well-known YouTube creator. She was offered a large payment to advertise a cabin hidden deep inside the woods. With her is her boyfriend Joss, an actor preparing for the release of his next film. Sitting behind them are Pedro, a comedy YouTuber with a big following, Thomas, a famous TikToker, and Cindy, a singer who prefers performing live over building a social media presence. As they approach the cabin, Mia begins streaming live, urging her audience to help her hit 1 million views. She even vows to shave her head on camera if they make it happen. Joss feels uneasy about how obsessed she is with going live and gently suggests she slow down and enjoy where they are. But Mia is determined to increase her views and brushes off his worries. At the same time, Pedro and Thomas cheer her on, joking and interacting with viewers during the broadcast. Gradually, the audience count climbs higher. 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. At last, they arrive at the cabin they were paid to promote. The property belongs to Anthony, who stays there with his wife Linda and their daughter Lisa. Anthony greets them with enthusiasm, thrilled about the exposure. He recommends they check out a stunning waterfall hidden behind the forest. He's convinced Mia's fans would love the sight and might even plan trips there themselves. As everyone talks and laughs, Lisa seems anxious and uneasy. Linda reveals that Lisa admires Mia deeply. Her bedroom walls are covered with posters and pictures of her idol. Lisa blushes in embarrassment as her mother shares this, but Mia responds kindly, delighted to meet such a loyal supporter. Still broadcasting, Mia excuses herself, mentioning she needs the restroom. She leaves the phone recording, aimed toward the shadowy woods. Her viewers continue watching, unaware of the terror about to begin. Out of nowhere, a dark figure darts between the trees. In the next moment, the bathroom window crashes open. Shaken and frightened, Mia runs back inside to the group. Chaos erupts. Anthony steps out to investigate, yet no one discovers who caused the disturbance. The cabin fills with fear and uncertainty. Then Lisa admits the truth. A classmate named David had been following Mia's live stream. When he saw Lisa appear on screen, he chose to frighten her by sneaking over and smashing the window. Everyone reacts with anger. Thomas, overwhelmed with rage, snatches Mia's phone and starts hurling insults at David during the live broadcast, daring him to come back. Joss quickly steps in, understanding how serious this could become. He warns Thomas that Mia's image, carefully built over many years, could collapse because of one reckless moment. Thomas explodes at Joss. He claims Joss is pretending, accusing him of coming only to promote his new films. Thomas insists he's being genuine, while calling Joss shallow and fake for the camera. He argues that if the stream stopped, people would finally see who Joss really is. He finishes by yelling that he hates him and challenges Joss to speak his mind openly. Though furious, Joss restrains himself. The stream is still live, and he doesn't want to damage his reputation as the heroic lead of an upcoming movie, so he keeps quiet. Meanwhile, Mia refuses to end the broadcast. The view count keeps rising rapidly, and despite Joss pleading with her to shut it off, she won't listen. She passes the phone to Pedro to continue streaming while she tries to persuade Joss. This could become the biggest live stream ever. Just imagine the publicity and attention they would gain. They might all turn into major celebrities. After thinking it over, Joss finally agrees to stand by her. Even so, he secretly decides to step away from the cabin. He tells them he's going to check out the waterfall and heads off alone. With Joss no longer there, Mia, Pedro, Cindy, and Thomas choose to keep the viewers entertained by moving behind the cabin to have some fun. Everything feels light and cheerful. While they joke around, it comes out that Pedro has been hiding his feelings for Cindy, though he has never told her. At the same time, viewers are enjoying their energy, and the number of people watching keeps rising. After a while, Linda walks over and tells Mia that Lisa, who absolutely adores her, wants to spend some time with her. Linda and Anthony are about to leave town. Mia gladly says yes and welcomes Lisa to stay. Lisa remains there once her parents head off. Noticing how reserved Lisa is, Mia gently asks her what's wrong. Lisa admits she feels like no one cares about her. Mia comforts her kindly, saying she is her closest friend and promising they will always protect one another. Lisa feels overjoyed, as if she has finally found where she belongs. Just then, Thomas calls Mia, saying something exciting is happening nearby that the viewers would enjoy watching. Mia goes over to him, leaving Lisa alone and silent. The group comes together again to continue entertaining their audience. They start teasing Cindy for not having any social media accounts like YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram, and they persuade her to sing live. Cindy is unsure at first, but eventually agrees and amazes everyone with her stunning voice. Pedro looks at her with admiration written all over his face. Mia lightly pushes Pedro, asking why he hasn't praised Cindy yet since it's obvious he has feelings for her, but Pedro stays silent, too nervous to admit the truth. Thomas keeps joking about it, which turns into a playful back and forth between them. Annoyed, Thomas suddenly walks off toward the forest. Without warning, a piercing scream comes from the trees. They all run toward the sound and find Thomas on the ground with a knife stuck through his hand, crying out in pain. Fear takes over instantly. No one knows what happened or who could have hurt him. Mia rushes to help, and as she grabs his hand, the knife slips out. Then Thomas suddenly starts laughing loudly. It was nothing more than a joke. Everyone feels angry and shaken for being fooled, but Thomas continues laughing uncontrollably. The viewers online also think it's hilarious. Still grinning, Thomas says he's going to the bathroom and promises to come back with something even more shocking. Then he heads into the woods once more. Now only Mia, Pedro, and Cindy remain. Realizing Pedro would never admit his feelings with her around, Mia decides to give them privacy. Pretending she's showing the forest to her viewers, she walks away. Instead, she hides behind a tree and secretly films them, hoping to capture a special moment. Alone together, Pedro and Cindy finally reveal their feelings and share a kiss. Watching secretly, Mia feels incredibly happy for them. Meanwhile, the live viewer count continues to increase. Needing to use the bathroom, Mia decides to check on Thomas as well. She walks up to the door, knocks, and calls his name, but there is no reply. Worried, she slowly opens the door, and the sight inside makes her freeze. Thomas is lying still in the bathtub, blood covering his face and body. At first, Mia assumes it's another twisted prank. Shaking, she tells him to stop, but when he doesn't respond, fear takes hold of her. As she steps closer, she realizes the awful truth. Thomas is actually dead. Mia lets out a terrified scream, overcome with shock. She has never seen a corpse before, and the horrifying image completely breaks her. Hearing her cry out, Cindy and Pedro rush in. They also think for a second that Thomas is pretending, but the stillness of his body tells them otherwise. The truth crashes down on them. Thomas is no longer alive. Terror took over when they realized the entire situation was still broadcasting live to thousands of people. They nearly ended the stream, but then understood it was the only proof of what had happened. Against their instincts, they decided to keep filming. Mia stood frozen, unable to move from shock. Cindy tried soothing her while Pedro rushed to contact the police. The authorities said they would arrive in roughly 30 minutes, leaving the group stuck in overwhelming anxiety. They stepped into the hallway. Mia remained dazed as the viewer count kept increasing. What began as lighthearted entertainment had transformed into a horrifying disaster. As they struggled to stay calm, someone suddenly showed up. It was Joss, and his hands were covered in blood. Everyone stared at him in silence. When they questioned him, Joss casually explained that he had visited the waterfall and accidentally cut himself on broken glass. But Pedro didn't believe him anymore. Suspicion and rage built as he accused Joss of murdering Thomas. Joss gave a nervous laugh, assuming it had to be another prank, but the heavy silence proved otherwise. When they told him to look for himself, Joss hesitated before finally walking to the bathroom. The instant he saw Thomas lying motionless, he cried out in shock and staggered backward, terrified and confused. Pedro pressed him about his whereabouts during the murder, reminding him that while the rest were together, he had been alone. The blood on his hands only made things look worse. Joss frantically defended himself, saying he had no motive to harm Thomas, yet a heated confrontation broke out between him and Pedro. Mia, overwhelmed with anger, also accused Joss of being responsible. Even the viewers watching live began blaming him, convinced he was guilty. Panic tightened around them. They no longer trusted what Joss might do next. As emotions reached their peak, Lisa came downstairs, shaking with fear. Mia hurried to her and held onto her tightly. Taking advantage of the chaos, the group shoved Joss aside and ran, desperate to escape the nightmare unfolding around them. They only needed to stay alive until the police arrived. By now, they truly believed Joss might attack at any second. Cindy and Pedro split up, running in separate directions, while Mia fled with Lisa another way. Joss chased after Mia, begging her to listen and swearing he was innocent. He pleaded with her to trust him and turn off the stream, saying she was destroying his future. Mia refused to stop filming. When she ignored him, Joss lunged for the phone in her hand. At that exact moment, someone struck him from behind. He dropped to the ground, unconscious. Mia turned in shock to see who had hit him. It was Linda. She had returned searching for her daughter and managed to knock Joss out. For a brief second, Mia felt relief, believing the danger was over. But she had no idea the real nightmare was only starting. Mia urged Linda and Lisa to leave immediately. She promised to go back and find the others. Just as she turned to go, Lisa gripped her arm tightly. Lisa questioned why Mia was leaving her and why she wanted to return to friends who had left her behind. She reminded Mia that she was supposed to be her closest friend, not them. She insisted she would protect Mia herself. Mia felt uneasy at Lisa's strange words and tried explaining she couldn't abandon her friends, but Lisa's anger grew rapidly. Without warning, Lisa pulled out a knife. She yelled that no one would ever come between them, not even Thomas. She reminded Mia that Thomas once separated them, and she made sure he suffered for it. In that instant, everything became clear to Mia. Lisa had been behind it all. She was the mysterious figure in the forest. Lisa had struggled with violent and unstable behavior since she was young, something her mother and maybe even her father were aware of. She had always idolized Mia deeply. Her father had invited Mia to the cabin, hoping her presence would somehow help Lisa heal. Instead, the situation had spiraled out of control, far beyond what anyone imagined. Mia finally faced the terrifying reality. Lisa was the murderer. In a desperate attempt, Mia tried to soothe Lisa, acting like she agreed and promising she wouldn't walk away. For a brief second, Lisa believed her, but when Mia suddenly reached for the knife, it slipped and plunged into her instead. Struggling to breathe and losing blood fast, Mia fell to the ground. Right before thousands watching live, she passed away in agony as the broadcast kept going. Linda saw everything happen. Terrified, she grabbed Lisa and whispered that they had to leave immediately. The two of them quickly ran off. Just imagine it. Mia, a rising celebrity, dying helplessly in front of her fans during a live stream. A short while later, Pedro and Cindy came back. They discovered Mia's motionless body. Shocked and confused, they couldn't fully understand the nightmare in front of them. At the same time, the chat section exploded. Viewers were typing frantically, claiming Lisa and her mother were responsible. But Pedro and Cindy weren't paying attention to the screen. Their focus moved to Joss, who was still unconscious nearby. That's when they understood the truth. Joss couldn't have done this. He wasn't the murderer. He hadn't taken Thomas's life, nor Mia's. When Joss finally woke up and saw Mia lying dead, he completely broke down, sobbing without control. He felt lost and didn't know what to do next. Now the three of them shared one mission. They needed to get out before it was too late. Joss told Pedro and Cindy to run to the car, explaining that the keys were upstairs. He promised he would grab them and help everyone escape safely. As Pedro and Cindy rushed toward the vehicle, Pedro handed the phone to Joss, asking him to keep streaming so they would have proof. Holding the phone, Joss moved back toward the cabin and noticed Anthony, Linda, and Lisa arguing intensely inside. He quietly went upstairs to listen without being seen. Anthony was furious, telling Linda they had no option but to confess everything to the police. He insisted they must admit the truth. Linda disagreed, terrified of what would happen to Lisa. Hearing all this, Joss realized something horrifying. Lisa was the true killer. But before he could react, Anthony noticed him. They immediately began fighting. Joss managed to push Anthony back for a moment, snatched the keys, and sprinted toward the door. However, Linda caught up and attacked him, trying to prevent his escape. Just as Joss was trapped, the same police officer from earlier arrived, bringing a small sense of hope. In desperation, Linda blamed Joss and his friends, claiming they were the criminals behind everything. Joss quickly yelled that he had evidence, showing the officer the live stream on his phone. He begged him to check the bathroom for proof. The officer hesitated, warning Joss not to fool him, saying he had already received many prank calls about a YouTube incident. Meanwhile, the live stream chat filled with furious messages accusing him of ignoring real danger. Doubtful but uneasy, the officer slowly walked toward the bathroom. Before he could react, Linda attacked and killed him. Seeing that Linda would do anything to protect Lisa, Joss ran toward the car where Cindy was waiting. But just as he got close, Anthony grabbed him from behind. Pedro and Joss tried to fight Anthony off, but suddenly Linda appeared holding a gun. She fired at Pedro, killing him instantly. Now only Joss and Cindy remained, while Anthony and Linda were determined to finish them off. In the chaos, Joss pulled Anthony in front of him, hoping Linda wouldn't shoot. But in a shocking turn, Linda fired anyway, killing Anthony. Realizing he might not make it, Joss told Cindy to drive away and save herself. Not knowing what happened to Joss, Cindy sped off in the car. But while driving, she was stunned to see Lisa already inside the vehicle. In panic, she lost control and crashed. The live stream continued, capturing Cindy's attempt to escape and the accident. The live audience count climbs to an unbelievable 1 million, with people glued to their screens in shock. Cindy manages to pull herself out of the damaged car, but no one knows if Lisa survived or not. The nightmare doesn't truly end here, setting the stage for a possible continuation. So, what's your opinion on this wild ride? Share your thoughts down in the comments. Catch you in the next video.